All right, so I'm working on the old John Deere today. I haven't had this thing running in a couple of years, and I figured it's time. I got fuel flow out of the fuel pump there, but it's still not starting, which tells me carburetor's probably gummed up. And you know, this gas, this is ethanol-free gas. It's in this. The local gas station sells it, but it's still, after a couple of years, it goes bad. So I went to pull this carburetor off, and I realized, you know, I pulled the carburetor off, and then I went to pull the bowl off to check it, and I saw a teachable moment here. These screws on fuel bowls are notorious for stripping out. So the first thing I did was I grabbed my snap-on screwdriver and I tried to take the screws out, and it started slipping almost immediately. Don't force it. If you start slipping, stop what you're doing. The crazy thing is, this is the most amazing screwdriver I've ever had. It's Harbor Freight's Pittsburgh brand, and it doesn't strip screws. I got it on there, and I got two of them loose, and the other two, it didn't want to get loose, and they started slipping a little bit. So I turned the carburetor upside down, and if you can find a block of wood or something, put as much downward force on the screw as you can while twisting it. You know, put your whole body weight over the screwdriver, and I got one more loose. So that's 3 of the 4. I still got one that fought me, and you can see it's a little bunged up. It's more bunged up than I want it to be, but I got it loose. How did I do it? Little tiny vice grips. When I was a Nissan technician, we had a screw about that size that was hidden away on the back side of a component that went bad all the time. I don't even remember what it was anymore. But the trick was, you got a tiny pair of needle nose vice grips on it and pinched it as hard as you could, and you could break it loose, and then you could take it out by your fingers. These are not needle nose. I broke my needle nose vice grips on one of those screws. They are not very strong, so if you can use the regular short nose vice grips, but that's what I did. I got it adjusted to where it's smaller than these, but when I crimped down on it, it's difficult to lock it, but it locked. I broke it free, and then as soon as it came free, I took these back off. They are tight. There we go. And once I took it off, I was able to take this out with my fingers. So that's how you don't strip out carburetor screws. If I strip this out, I'd have to replace the carburetor. I might be able to extract that, but tiny screws are a real pain to get extracted. And honestly, now we do live in a time of cheap Chinese carburetors. I could replace this carburetor with something from China, pretty cheap probably. But if I can keep the original carburetor working, that's what I'd rather do. So anyways, hope you learned something from that.